Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics This Week. Yet again, I brought another fantastic group of independent comic book creators. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. Without further ado, I got my favorite co-host. She's right here. You're muted. You're muted. Nobody can hear you. Nobody can hear you. You're muted. Sorry.
Oh, I'm trying to work here. What are you doing? Oh, my goodness. So, hello, everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992 with this miscreant right here. And we work on the comic Tall Tales, the furry fantasy adventure. And currently, I'm working on my own comic, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is on Kickstarter right now. You can find me at eagleworks.com, EGOWORKS, for more info.
All right, cool. Then we also have this guy.
What's up, everyone? My name is not JD Calderon. It is Dee Rosario, and my wife is probably watching and is excited at the only person here who is not named JD at all. She just loves watching Daphne's show. So if we're here, I mean, she's gonna tune.
She's on my OnlyFans.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Let me cancel that card right now.
Hey, listen. The only thing on Daphne's OnlyFans is the parrot.
Right.
Wait. The parrot that goes ding 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 ding. It sounds like coming up the order for the customer on the table. Yeah, gotcha. But I have been making comic books since 2008, and I currently have a campaign going on right now called Shield of the Interceptor on Kickstarter.
That's nice. All right,
thank you.
And we got 3 co-hosts tonight. So, what's up, Tom?
Does that mean I have to have a question?
Yeah.
No,
you have to have an OnlyFans.
Take my question. Take my question, please.
Yeah, my OnlyFans, I posted a picture a while back because I'm writing a shark book for next year, and I found a shark. I don't know what you call it, like a onesie of some sort, right? And so I posted that, and I said, "This is my OnlyFans, but it's just me writing shark scripts in a onesie." So if you want to subscribe to that, you let me know. We'll get that set up right away. It's only $5 a month, and you'll be fine. You'll get everything that you need.
No kink shaming.
That's right.
Hey, shark skin is naked.
No right? Fin shaming, no teeth shaming, no none of that. Yeah, you can. We'll call everybody you can be my remoras, right? Because they're all just hanging around the shark. Yeah. See, this is working out really well right now.
I like the theme. The theme, buddy.
Yep. Corey, pleasure to meet you. I'm so sorry it started out this way, but that's how it goes sometimes.
It only gets worse.
Actually, I have an OnlyFans story too, if I can tell it. So I've been making. My name's Corey. I've been making comic books now since 2020. Actually, I launched my first one during COVID. I'd had it made for like a year and a half and just wasn't building up the courage to release a comic book. And finally, I was like, well, if the world's gonna end, let me at least publish comic books. So that was what kind of spurred me into it. That's what got me going in that direction. I also, with some friends and family, have a podcast called Nerd Thug Radio that we've done since 2016.
Nice.
Well, we've always kind of been a little experimental in kind of how we try stuff and do stuff. We took it to the radio, but we owned the show, so we were an independent radio show for a while, just did different things. Well, this is 100% true. OnlyFans was trying to get into more. The credit card processors didn't love that it's just so adult. So they were trying to do more video content, and I saw an article that said as much. So I reached out to them, and I was the first podcast that they signed, and we went to do it, and they were like, "You guys are just really nerdy, and all you do is sit around and talk about TV and stuff." So I don't know. So we had an OnlyFans account. We had a couple subscribers, but they never front paged us or anything because they were kind of in hindsight, you're not a good fit. Because what wound up happening is, obviously, if people go into something called OnlyFans, what wound up taking off was cooking shows with the adult film stars and stuff like that. So but we did spend a year on OnlyFans. Nerd Thug Radio kind of disappeared from Spotify and everything else for 1 whole year because we were on OnlyFans.
You should have had a foot cam. That's
Exactly.
you missed
I
out.
was about to say, if you guys had a foot cam, you guys would have been all right.
Yeah.
It's so funny how, like, in the beginning everyone was like, yeah, this will be good because like we're trying to clean up our image, and then by week 2, like I couldn't get anyone to email me back because they were like, actually, what's weird is on all of our video stuff, it's the adult people that everyone likes. So it was a journey, but it was funny.
Gotcha. Well, that's cool. What's up, Isaac? You muted.
Hi, JD. Don't mention credit card processes in front of me.
Yeah, I know, right? It's been a rough week.
No, I'm glad to see that Visa and MasterCard stocks
Yeah.
are tanking, and I'm also very glad people are harassing the hell out of them right now. But I'm telling people, it's not just them; it's being pushed behind them by Stripe. So go after
Yeah.
them, please.
Yeah,
Stripe's come after me twice, so let's go ahead and just knock them down a little bit, and I'll be very happy.
Yeah, Stripe went after Kickstarter pretty hard. Yeah.
Which they got me on Cremisi, which is a book that is not loot at all, and told me on BackerKit that I can't sell that book anymore. They processed the payment. I can't sell it there. I can't sell that Cremisi on BackerKit anymore. It's not. Yeah, Daphne knows that book. She knows it's not a loot book.
Yeah, that's not it. It's like Cowboy Bebop.
Meanwhile, I go on Kickstarter the other day and I find an entire campaign for very explicit furry sex toys that made a lot of money. That was totally cool.
Oh, I know that company.
Yeah, I don't. There's a weird.
I'm not putting that down. What I'm mad about is this feels discriminatory, and
absolutely, yeah.
There's a weird like dichotomy where like the books have a much different journey than some of the other products. Because you're right, they've done adult themed stuff before, like adult themed products with no issue at all. And I think one of the biggest Kickstarters ever was a female adult toy.
We saw the furry one, and the campaign right next to it was an automatic up and down machine. I'm trying to keep this safe for JD's show,
Right.
For men to use. Another successful campaign going. And I want to put the furry one had an image of their stretch. I'm kind of mad. I didn't think the stretch goal image was really genius. It was a furry wolf guy holding up like an actual like horse genital stretching it. Going, these are our stretch goals.
All right.
That's a pretty great image. But why is that okay? But you got mad at me.
I think you're really turning on Jay, so we got to stop. Right? Like you've seen the faces he's been making for the last 5 minutes. We just got to stop, right?
I got you the link, bro. Don't worry, I got you.
All right. Our final guest for the night, I have an apology. What's up, Vaughn? I kind of forgot you.
It's okay. No worries.
But at the last minute, we were able to get him on. So thank you.
Didn't I just say like 2 minutes ago it only gets worse?
Yes. So Vaughn, please introduce yourself.
I am Vaughn Coleman. I'm a comic book writer and creator. I get the sense there's a couple of you guys here. And I have a new book that just launched on Friday. So my third book.
Nice. Vaughn, do me a favor. Put it in the private chat.
You got it.
All right, everyone. So everyone's seen this damn question I have for this show question, right? And I got it up there because, I saw nothing but betrayal this week. Betrayal. You understand? From people who are on here week in, week out, feeding off my plate, right? like that's all they do, right? So the question is, who would you kick in front of a bus to make your bones in indie comics? Vaughn, you're in the hot seat. Who would you just grab?
What a way to start.
Underneath that damn bus, you son of a bitch.
All right, nice to meet you guys. Now, before I'm immediately going to resort to murder within my first minutes of my appearance.
It's not always murder. Sometimes it is just.
They could survive. Yeah, they could survive.
Right. Sometimes it is just a name.
Lightly kick in front of a slow-moving bus. Let's say.
There you go.
I don't want to say this on air.
Say it.
Do it.
Say it.
Just say Zack Snyder and you'll be fine.
There you go.
Okay, they don't have to be a comic book creator. All right.
No.
I don't like Snyder's movies. But the thing is, he's out of the picture now, so I feel like it would be a waste. It would, if anything, galvanize his base and make him a martyr. I can't do that.
Yeah,
I gotta be strategic. Can you come back to me? I gotta think of this.
His fan base is all bots anyway.
I don't think so. I've met some of them. I've had conversations with them.
Well, according to James Gunn, they're all super monkeys.
Yes.
There you go.
I did like that in the movie. I thought that was kind of funny.
All right, Tom. Who would you pitch underneath the bus?
Zack Snyder. Easy.
See?
Fine. Super easy. Super easy.
Super easy.
No, but I'll take this a little bit further. I have a list. I've been doing this for 15 years now, so I have a list. None of the people on this list will be named.
I have a special set of skills.
That's correct. That's correct. But it's not that they won't be named for any sort of like fear of repercussion or anything. It's just like it doesn't serve a purpose to like air your dirty laundry to the universe in that capacity, right? Like we live in that world right now where everybody is like, oh my God, that guy. Oh my God, that guy. I'm like, no one cares. Literally no one cares. But what I've found is that the people that are on this list, and this is why I have really no need to even drop names, is 90% of the people on the list have made themselves irrelevant all on their own. They have fallen out of favor for one reason or another over time with different companies, with their fan bases, whatever. And so to sort of, just like what Vaughn just said, is if you sort of bring them back, it gives them sort of that energy to sort of almost step back up,
that's the problem
right?
with people.
So,
a lot of bad people play victim always. They'll be like, see?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, yeah. So
yeah.
We're going karma here.
Yeah, so there's not really a reason for me to be like that guy, but I will say that there's a top three, and if anyone of those top three aren't available when the bus is right there, then it's Travis Gibb. Then it's Travis.
Travis, no.
And that's only because he ditched out on us tonight.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Corey, what are your thoughts?
So, all right, I've had this ongoing love-hate debate. I get to talk to a lot of great guys like Charlie Stickney and Pat Shan, who are Kickstarter gods, and they assure me that the rising tide raises all ships. They promise me that when the big names come to Kickstarter, that it's good for everybody. But I hope that's true. But I would gladly kick in front of a bus, not because he's not a good person, because I hear he's like the nicest person ever, but people like Keanu Reeves, the Power Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe. Anytime any one of these giant properties comes down and makes $9 million, like it's great because it gets the attention back to Kickstarter. It reminds people to go to Kickstarter. I accept all of that as true. But more often than not, one of us or some of us are running Kickstarters that same month. And while more eyes is always better, I do believe everyone has a limited amount of money they're going to spend. And when they give, the Power Rangers $70 that month or $100 or $200, that's just less money they're going to give to the other books that month. And so long term, it's probably great. Short term, though, yeah, I'd kick all of them in front of a bus. It just drives me crazy. Keanu Reeves doesn't need to kickstart Berserker, right? He's a fully funded individual, and he partnered with a fully funded publisher. They could have easily called up the comic shops and done some kind of deal through Diamond or through somebody and made it happen. They didn't need to go to Kickstarter and pre-sell all the issues. It's stuff like that I probably shouldn't say it because it does make me sound like the gatekeeper comic guy. And I promise I'm not. If I ever met Keanu Reeves, I probably would just fanboy over him. But it does drive me crazy that these properties that don't need to crowdfund.
All right. That's fair. I like that.
So much bad news for you in the future.
I know.
Yeah, because also I had heard that the only reason like that comic, the Berserker, was crowdfunded was it was the easiest way to show interest to sell the property, because soon after the crowdfund did mega bucks, that they sold the rights to I don't know what
the movie rights,
and they said it was because of the Kickstarter. Proof of concept.
I got to be honest, that kind of makes me hate it even more.
Yeah,
like it's not enough that Keanu Reeves makes 9 John Wicks. Like,
right.
If Keanu Reeves is going to be in your movie, just make your movie. Like, what it's going to do? It's going to do money. Like, I don't know. This makes me sound like a mean person, and I'm not. But it does drive me crazy.
Fair enough. Isaac, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to start by saying, Corey, I've never met you before, but I already like you. As an individual who's driven entirely by hatred, yeah, there's a lot that I understand with what you're saying, and it's a double-edged blade, and there's a whole spiel I could go into for that one, but I do feel the resonance of the hatred from those kinds of things. Like, you need the money. No, you don't, but it's okay.
And that's the other thing is, like, also, I've launched against several of these events. Like, the Power Ranger omnibuses came out at the same time I was launching a book where I was like, I hope I make my 3,000. And they're like, hey, we did 600,000 in 2 days. And you're like, cool.
Who's surprised?
Yeah.
To answer your question, JD, have you guys ever seen Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
So Arya Stark has a list. I do too. And that list is very long. And my lawyer would advise I not say what I would do to the people on that list if given the opportunity. My lawyer would strongly stop me from speaking on that one. But it is a long list of people that I would throw under the bus. Preferably the most like a bus from like Twisted Metal. It's got like blades and stuff under it. That as much to inflict as much possible suffering as it could do. If I have to pick a name of somebody right now, every single person who's on the upper management for Stripe and Wells Fargo, we can just throw them right under there.
All right.
Wow. Just go ahead. Like, I don't care who you are. You're done. Get out.
Yeah, eat the rich. Start the revolution. Burn cars.
If you want to go after people for legitimate legal transactions, then I don't think you should have that power to say that. As long as it's a legal transaction and fair under the government's law, then why do you get to decide? It's kind of like when you grow up. I don't know if you guys ever had to go to like religious schools growing up, but I was sent them and they had the thing like dancing, keep room for Jesus was the thing. I'm not picking anybody for their religion. It's the thing they would say to us when we were growing up. And now it's like, hey, keep room for your credit card transaction process. Make sure there's room for them to sit between you and your customer. Which seems underhanded at best, and morally bankrupt at worst. So they would definitely be on there. And for good measure, I'll throw JD under it. But it's gonna be one of those like really like a rubber bus for kids, like a toy bus. Be one of those. It doesn't hurt them. It just kind of the principle of the matter.
I do think it's interesting what credit card processors will and won't process. Like they don't. I live in Texas, where there are gun stores on every corner, and they don't process guns, gun stores. So like when a credit card provider finds out a gun store is using a credit card processor, they cancel the relationship.
I won't hijack JD's show because I know you have a topic, JD, so I'm not going to be a jerk. But I can tell you after Corey, I know something that's going on in government about that. I have friends in Washington, so I got to know some.
I can assume somebody at some point would sue. It does seem like it would be like a discriminatory.
No, there's something else. I'm not going to steal it from JD, but I'll say it for the show. Remind me, please.
Sure.
All right. Rosario.
Oh, I'm throwing you under the bus all day, baby. I want to be the only JD at all in comics. First of all, my name is JD, right? It's not an amalgamation of the younger nicknames I was called when I was a child, but it's okay. I'll let you rock.
But wait a second.
No. I'm sorry. It was a C. It's not a D. My fault.
Wait a second. But that was idiot and moron. So I mean,
hold on, Jose. I got you.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. There you go. See?
Dang, the first has fallen.
Oh, I'm not mute. Okay. All right. No, that was definitely it's a joke. There is somebody that I really would toss under. I won't name this person because I don't want him to get the juice.
Yeah. Don't name that person because I'd throw that same son of a bitch under the bus too. Because I know I'm pretty sure.
But he put his hands on my wife when we were still dating, and I was gonna go down, and I was gonna fuck him up, and I was held back, right? Because they don't want me to ruin. At the time, they did not want me to ruin any other future appearances at the New York Comic Con when this happened. Now I got the wife. She's ready. She's primed. She knows when this pops up. Right. This person has a celebrity niece who, she's an upper B level actress, and I'm a big fan of hers. So my wife went down to get her autograph, and she went with a buddy of mine who is. He looks like a nightclub bouncer, right? He's a dude you don't want to fuck with, and. This was a comic book creator who was in Artist Alley at New York Comic Con and did not really understand convention etiquette and didn't even have help from the staff to line people up correctly, to process the information, and to keep from blocking other people's booths while they're trying to do business, right? And by the time my wife came up, he was fucking tired. He was rude. He tried to deny her access to getting this autograph, and the celeb saw what was happening, squashed everything, was extra nice to my wife and to my brother, right, my homie, who was there, and they had a great time with her. Now, I have seen this creator at other conventions when he doesn't have a celebrity at his booth with him because he has produced celebrity books. Nobody's coming over to him. He's got no juice, nothing. But when he does have a celeb with him, he still tosses convention etiquette out of the window, and he has people lining up for these celebs in front of other people's booths. So this guy's a straight scumbag, motherfucking douche, and I hope he fucking burns. He's a fucking cunt. I could make up words, right, and it still won't do justice of how much I despise this individual.
Damn.
But he's somebody that if I got a chance, I'd kick him in the motherfucking teeth if I could. So yeah, you don't put
Rosario out here can't read the room.
So are we allowed to?
No, he's got to go deep. He's got to
So
go.
wait,
hard.
are we allowed to go?
He's got to go New York.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to
I'm
do
waiting
what
on
you
that.
just did, where we're like that we just don't say a name after like go talk for 5 years? Is that
Of course.
that's why I waited, because I was like, oh, I need to think of something I could say.
I just think it's messed up he's talking about me like that while like I'm not on the show.
That's really messed up. Yeah.
It was pretty personal there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen,
Oh yeah, definitely.
I know
Definitely.
famous people. Like I'm a terrible person. Whatever.
Yeah. He's a fucking scumbag. So he's not, not only that, but to other creators as well. To my editor, he's been a fucking douche. He has worked for
All right,
a subdivision of a
leave it there. Leave it there. Too many hints. Leave it there. Go on.
Welcome
So
to JD's
you want to
Hatred
go
Hour.
now?
All right. I guess I would say people who, in general, who get the funding for their books and are late, but spend time whining about creators who are actually fulfilling their books. I would say.
Okay.
That's odd.
Yeah, I know it would be strange that someone would do that. But yeah, that tends to happen.
Could it be someone who funds their books and doesn't deliver them for years and
Yeah,
years?
it could be.
Oh, okay. Oh,
No one is
Attention, you go,
specific.
JD.
No one is specific though.
Has it been 12 years?
Not quite. No, not quite. About halfway.
All right, fair enough. Daphne?
Well, first, what I would do is I would hijack the bus. You see, hijack the
If that
bus,
was an option.
and I would put a bomb on the bus so that they couldn't drive below 55, and then we would speed up the bus, turn it into a time machine, go back to 1990, jump out of the bus, and then push Steve Jeppy in front of it.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Holy shit!
wow.
Creative.
Yeah. So, and it's like, because that guy is probably the only guy that I could think of in the context of what we're doing that had a direct negative effect to the work that we do.
So that's the diamond guy, right?
Yep.
So that's what I would do.
When they closed down in COVID, that was the craziest. Like, I knew so many shop owners, and everybody was just kind of going, "What? Like, what are we supposed?" That was.
Yeah.
And then he came back with that campaign, "Come Back Better."
Because it's like, even before that.
Oh, he was
it's
old.
like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's like, the fact that not only did he destroy the entire distribution system that we were kind of, it's like, look, it's like we would put out a book and sell like 3,000 copies. It's like, Randy would talk about how he would put out a book and sell 30,000. So by the time we got to it, 3,000 was still a lot for us. So.
Right.
And then it just got to a point where it's like, you know what? Your books aren't making money for us, so you're not allowed in the catalog at all. Wow. So I've been salty ever since. More salty than I am towards Netflix canceling Marco Polo. But honestly, no, but seriously though, that's my serious answer. If there was anybody, because it's like the fact that for 10 years, we didn't have like anywhere to really go with our books out aside from like conventions until Kickstarter. And then that's when we kind of like started getting back into doing comics again. And POD helped too. But that's who I would push for.
I think that's a great answer. I do think that Diamond is directly responsible for like the shrinking of comics completely.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. It's funny. Like, I really like Daphne's answer because my answer is kind of tangential to it. Because I would wholeheartedly throw Marvel Comics underneath the bus as an entire fucking company because their predatory actions towards the business has been going on for so long and is so deeply ingrained in their business. And I'm just talking about the publishing end of it, right? You have a group of guys who think they're smarter than everybody else in the room, no matter what room they're in, right? You have a group of guys who always manage to produce a hell of a whole lot more than they sell, right? They put out as many variant covers as they can to push out independents. That's been something that's been going on since the 80s, all right? Wow. It only got worse. It only got worse with Image, right? So, and they're not interested, they say this thing is like they don't want to make superstars. Forget superstars. They don't even want to make good comics because you need those superstars to make good comics, right? They don't want any more Frank Millers. They don't want any more John Byrnes. John Byrne had to go get a deal at another company for him to put out his books currently.
It's crazy.
Right? They don't want superstars, right? They don't want the cream of the crop talent.
And that's why they're coming to Kickstarter then, isn't it?
Right. But I mean, but the thing is they're Marvel. It should be something we should all aspire to. And I think at one time it was, right? But the predatory practices that they've been going on since the 80s is insane.
Well, and I think, to piggyback off of, heading back to that would be people that abuse the crowdfunding system. And like in regards to like, to me, when I organize a crowdfund, I'm like, what do I need to make my book? That, okay. If I'm lucky, I can make money after. And even then, most of the stretch goals, typically, even that money tends to go into something, right? It's I guess people that are just like treat it like a personal paycheck. And it's like, you can do that, but you have to build that into your goal. And I think that kind of stuff is a problem because so many people kind of forget the core principles of what you're supposed to do with crowdfunding.
Yeah, I don't think most people who crowdfund make money from their books. I think the big cats do, the guys who,
but they've earned it generally.
Yeah. Well, if you're getting 2,000 backers and clearing $30,000 on a project, you probably do make money on it, or you print such high volume that when you go to shows, you're making a great margin on it because you were able to print 10,000 instead of 4,000 or something like that.
Right. Which that is fine.
Right.
Not much.
I get what you're saying. There's a couple of the anthology guys who raised a lot of money and then kind of disappeared, and those books are never going to come out. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And one of them, I don't remember who it is, so I can't name them, but they were talking about him one time in one of the chats I was in, where they were talking about how they saw on a social media, like he got a big sleeve tattoo. He went on a trip. something else happened, and then like, hey, how's that anthology coming? And he was like, oh man, we're in a lot of trouble. And it's like, yeah, I bet we are.
So Vaughn, can I ask you a question about those cats that make all that money or whatever? Would you refer to these people as professionals?
I wouldn't personally.
Okay.
They might refer to themselves that way, though.
Right, because I've had numerous conversations with many people about professionals when they step out of Marvel and DC. They might be professional artists. They might even be professional writers. They might even be professional editors. They're usually not business people.
Right.
They're usually not editors.
That's apparent.
Right. They could usually do that one little core thing that they were involved in that company well, right? Sometimes even superbly, right? But all these other factors that we deal with as independent publishers and we've taught ourselves how to do, they're usually not professionals.
Right. 100%.
All right.
Well, anyway, this being an independent creator is a boot camp. Like the stuff you learn from book one to book. This is my 10th Kickstarter, and the things you learn every time you make a new book, a new project, it is crazy. I didn't know anything about. I'm not a technical guy. I suck using Adobe, and I've had to learn every thing, sizing pages properly so that the printer doesn't kick it back and go, "What did you send me?" Figuring out how all the coloring looks printed versus how it looks on the screen with the gloss versus the matte finish and stuff. Like there's so much you learn over time. I had a cover for one of the books that was really, really dark, and I sent it to the printer, and they sent me 100 of them, and I gave it to a store that had bought like 50. I was super excited, and they go, "Oh, the ink rubbed on the cover, so there's rub on all these covers. I can't use any of the 50." So I got to go back to the printer. The first thing the printer says to me is, "Oh yeah, when you print really dark like that, they're gonna rub in the shipment." And I was like, "What? If you knew that, why wouldn't you tell me that or have me put a finish or like why would you let me buy bad product from you?" And they're like, "Oh, we just thought you knew." So you definitely learn lessons that you would never learn if you were just, I work at Marvel and I'm a writer.
Yep. Another group of people you need to throw on their bus. Anyway, Daphne.
Yes.
Good question.
Well, kind of related to this. So I was on Book Threads, and there's this discussion about in the indie authors, in the indie authors circle, where everyone's talking about, oh, we love indie authors, we love indie books. Yeah, kind of same thing on our end. We love indie books. But then when it comes down to recommendations, it's all traditional published stuff. It's all books being published by Penguin and and Random House and every publisher except the indie books that everyone claims that they all love and want to supposedly support, but nobody is supposed to know what the books are. So that led into a discussion about how big publishers or traditionally published books are usually given a pass that indie books don't get. They don't get that grace, but big publishers always get that grace. So I guess my question is, what's classy when mainstream publishers do it, but trashy when indie comics publishers do it?
Tom, you're up.
I don't really have an answer to it. I just agree that it's horseshit. We have this group of people who have this monumentally high expectation of people doing it themselves, but when Marvel or DC are late, it's like, well, they've got a lot going on. Yep. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you cannot have both sides of the coin at the same time. You have to choose. You are either pissed off at something is late, or you are going to say, well, these guys have a lot of shit going on, and you just roll with it. I see it all the time, constantly, cross crowdfunding and just in general, like, why is this guy so late? Why is this guy so late? I'm like, why is Marvel late? Why should Marvel ever be late? Why should DC ever be late? Billions of dollars can flow through that company and pay people to literally not be late. But most of the time they're late because shit goes wrong in people's lives, just like with indie people. They can have a printer problem, we can have a printer problem, but we get the shit. And on the other side, if there's a mistake with a Marvel book, that's suddenly the book to have because it's the error. Go give me that fucking book. But if it's an error for me, it's like, Tom fucked that book up and now I don't want it because it's fucked up. Like, listen, fuck you guys. I'm about to go on a huge ridiculous rant right now, which is not good. But it's the reality. It's like you really have to understand that people that are doing this on their own, and I'm even going to take out guys like Polito, right? Because he's not doing it on his own. He has a team of people running Coffin Comics, right? Guys like us, there's basically like one person, maybe two, if someone's helping you like package or something. We're like one person. We're writing it, we're editing it, we're art directing it, we're sending it to the printer, we're buying the boxes, we're bag and boarding every fucking thing we have. We're making sure as best we can that the stretch goals are here, that there's no damages on the books. We're shipping it out hand by hand, one by one. I'm sitting at the computer, sending out 1,000 packages, typing in everybody's name, like one person. So if you're going to get pissed off at the one person, I damn well better hear you all being ragingly pissed at the thousands that run Marvel or DC when they get behind, because they don't really have an excuse.
So Tom just gave the answer that I give when I defend the post office, that they ship out 10,000 things. So yeah, when my one package is late, I'm always like, yeah, I'm annoyed, but I also am like, well, they did ship 30 million things today, so yeah. I guess if they're knocking at 0.001% off, I'll let it slide.
And again, same thing. Like I will send out 1,000 packages, and 2 will be damaged, and they will rage on
guys will kill
being
you.
damaged. And I'm like, my God. 998 showed up okay. So I'm gonna say sorry, of course. I'm gonna fix the problem, of course. But you don't have to rage at me about it. Just tell me, yo, something fucked up, man. What can we do to fix this?
I did have that happen one time.
I got you. We'll take care of this. But don't rage at these people. I didn't drive to Pennsylvania and put it in your mailbox, right? It's not on me. At some point, there's like 8 or 9 people in the chain that are playing hockey with your package. It's not, I can't do anything once it leaves my hand. So just pull back. Everybody slow the fuck down, right? Just slow down. Think about what you're doing. Think about what the rage is there for. There's probably something far worse happening in your life that I understand, and that's why you've got all this crazy shit going on, and we take the brunt of it when something goes wrong. I understand. We all have those days. But slow down. It's comics. It's indie creation. It's going to be slower than normal. Things are going to fuck up from time to time. Give people a chance to just make good. And then if over time they don't, then you can rage, right? You have to have a track record of failure before I will accept any sort of massive outrage. Otherwise, it's just selective in the moment. Like, oh no, this guy sent me 10 packages, but now this one's damaged, so I'm gonna go fucking rage on.
I'll never get it from them again.
Right? It's just it's crazy. It's crazy.
Here's my what was how do we phrase this? My cool if we do it, but or lame if they do it.
Here's the one cool if they do it, but lame if we do it.
Okay. In all the different groups that we're all in, all the creator groups, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people. They will go to a comic book shop gladly and buy the $8 Spider-Man Christmas wrap-up special and never blink. Read it one time, not even enjoy it, and never blink. But if you kind of point out the math of it, where you're like, there's 6,000 people in this group. If 15% of you were to back the digital version of my Kickstarter, you guys would all get to enjoy my book, and I wouldn't struggle to make this book. And it's weird how the math is so wildly in favor of this. Because I'm not fully on board with JD throwing Marvel under the bus, but I don't disagree that half or more of what they put out is mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Like if you're putting out 5 Batman books, there's no way you're putting out 5 amazing Batman books. If you're putting out 5 Spider-Man books, there's no way you're putting out 5 amazing Spider-Man books. So when the 5th Spider-Man book is selling this month, I do that. That does drive me crazy. I would like to see if Marvel's making 2 Spider-Man books and they're great, and everyone's like, "Hey, are you looking at Spider-Man? Like, it's amazing right now." Then I would feel way less bad when nobody is looking at the Kickstarters and nobody's doing anything. I actually made a Reddit post about this today, and I'm sure no one will read it. But I said, hey, if all 4 million of you would be invited back to come to Kickstarter and just look at books again, like, you guys would change comic books overnight.
Yeah.
And I think about that a lot, where it's like the volume is so weirdly distorted in favor of just people would rather complain about bad books than back books that interest them.
That's fair. Isaac, what are your thoughts?
Echoing a lot of things that have already been said. I'm curious if what backers have you guys had to have these problems? I almost never have anybody that gets mad at me. In 11 years, I've had 2 people who are unreasonable, and that
Isaac's perfect. Ooh.
No, I'm trying to figure out, like, what? No, it's not that. It's more the interesting of the data of, like, how. There's the I think the joke was called Kevin's. If you have 1,000 people that like you, you're gonna get 1 Kevin, 1,000 another Kevin, and the Kevins feed off each other in YouTube crowds. So explain this to me. I'm curious how that goes to the Kickstarter crowd. As far as the trashy thing, I'm gonna say it's advertising campaigns, because if you do it as an independent, people go, "Oh, you're annoying me with your emails." Oh, but Facebook can send you 50 a day and you don't care. Yeah. Marvel can just bombard you over and over, or, insert brand here that you Google one time, and now everywhere you go, you see it pop up, and you're cool with that. We told you when the Xbox Kinect came out, it was a scam for logos, and guess what? It did, and you were still cool, and you still bought it. But I sent you one email saying, "Hey, here's the thing you can check out because you've already proved you like my work," and you go, "Yeah, you're annoying me with too many emails."
Yeah.
I definitely get text message or emails from people who are like, "Hey, chill it on the broadcasting. You're working on stuff."
I don't get that one. Like, why is it okay for a billion-dollar corporation who's selling you a soulless, gray suit-made piece of garbage that just wants your money, and to tell you even further microtransactions or whatever on top of that, versus a team of people who've dedicated their entire lives to perfecting their craft to make sure you have a good time and are actively engaging with you to make sure you like what they do?
Yep. That definitely, or not only that, but also 5 variant covers on the 5th Spider-Man title. This month.
Yeah.
And it might not even be canon in a week. Well, actually, no, if it's DC, they might strike it from canon in a week.
Yeah, DC will change their whole continuity every
that's why I started reading comics, not the sidetrack, but I started reading comics like right when the New 52 happened. So I read Batman Hush, and I'm like, great. And then I hear about this thing, the New 52, and it's like, oh yeah, like a lot of that that you were just getting into, that's not canon anymore. I was like, is this what it's like to read comics?
I kind of gave up on the idea of canon now, and I just read cool stories that I like and just go, I don't know if it's real or not, but this is my favorite.
Yeah.
Starman. Starman's one of my favorite books. I don't know if that dude exists even anymore in the comic books.
Which version of Starman?
The one that James Robinson did.
JD proves the point.
7 omnibuses. Jack Knight. I don't know if Jack Knight exists anymore.
I like the Starman before that one. He had the big upside down star in his chest.
Oh, and then they wrote him into a Justice League future story, that Starman. But when they wrote that Starman in, they didn't reference if the other Starman exists anymore. And then Stargirl's running around with Jack Knight's rod, and it's like,
what?
Well,
what?
Yeah. Phrasing? Can we do that? Sorry.
OnlyFans
discussion, I see.
But they don't reference whether or not she got it or not. So like how she got it. So I don't understand. I don't.
Well, no. It does. James Robinson passed the baton. So,
okay.
Yeah,
he passed the rod.
Yeah, he handed her the rod, yes, for sure.
Yeah. You guys, there's a lady in the room. Come on, the lady in the room.
More awkward. The rod is crooked. I think that's just something we should all be worried about.
It tilts left.
It's got like a weird. It's a cool looking design, but it's got like a weird question mark thing going on.
Oh my God! It does hook to the left, doesn't it?
Vaughn, were you done, or did you have a?
We're so lucky this is on against SummerSlam because no one's watching.
This is true. Vaughn, did you have something else to add, or were you done?
Oh, well, the conversation split off. I don't know where we're at, to be honest with you.
Well,
Just-
probably-
just take
what's
the path
classy-
you're on.
Yeah, just what's
I
classy
don't remember
when
what
the
path-
mainstream does it, and what's trashy when we do it.
Okay, that was sorry. We went off. We went so far off the rails. I was to be honest, I haven't thought of that too much. Because I haven't. I feel you guys seem to be getting a lot of heat, man. I don't think I've thought about that too much, to be honest. I haven't really been told I was trashy yet. So clearly, I'm either doing something right, or no one's telling me if I'm doing something wrong. So
They're not mad enough yet. Don't push your luck, buddy. Like
that's wow. Is that a threat?
Exist in that eye of the tornado as long as you can.
Yes.
Well, no,
I
I've
will
got
say
my
also-
fair share of crap, but it just wasn't
Also, to
for
be
anything
fair,
I've done.
though,
in that regard.
a lot of this observation is observation of other people. So
Okay.
it's not necessarily
right.
something that we've experienced directly, but we have seen, other people like, complain about it. Like, oh, it's like, a Dynamite can be 2 years late with Darkwing Duck, but it's like if an Indy is like 6 months late on a book, all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's why I don't pledge to Kickstarter type of thing,
right,
Like,
When
you
our
know.
turnaround times are better,
Right,
than
yeah.
most mainstream books are from
Yeah.
point of promotion. Yeah.
I definitely have seen people comment before. Oh, I don't buy indie because I got burned at one time and then book came out
right.
a
And it's
year
like, well, what does
late.
that have to do with us?
Yeah,
Right.
But they'll put up with everything from mainstream.
but I
Yeah,
also
yeah.
have had the unfortunate of I shipped a book. Guy asked where it was months later, and I had to dig out the receipt and the tracking number, and that comic book had traveled across the continental United States and was still just bouncing around places.
Oh.
And I said, well, the tracking's live. I said, but I think I'm going to send you another one because you're not in Arizona, so I'll take care of this for you. But I've seen it both ways, and you got to just make the best of it.
Fair
I will
enough,
point
Jay.
out, as of 2 years ago, the number of Kickstarters completed their funding and never gave anything was 34%. And as I understand now, that number has increased. So that's probably done nothing but make people more and more weary about who they go to.
34% of Kickstarters.
As of 2 years ago, they said 34% who got funded never gave their backers a single thing.
Oh my!
Now is that
everything, or is that?
That's all across the entire board. That's not just comics.
Oh, okay.
Comics, we're a very different category. We don't make the money that most categories do. We have the highest success rate, and usually, from what I understand, we have the highest rate of actually fulfilling on our promises. So we're more reliable. We just don't make the money as the tech guys, the big crazy handheld device guys do.
Well, it does blow my mind that they like you can kickstart like video games because I feel like that probably never delivers. Like
that's the one
It
very
does
common
have the
fraud.
highest. Yeah.
They're
They
very-
were actually Kickstarter for a little while was considering dropping that entire category.
Yes.
yeah, I mean,
because
how
it
do
had
you
a
not?
very high.
There's
not
no way that people
deliver.
will give you $60 that like 7 people can make a video game.
I can tell
most
you
times.
one of my editors is a musician. He worked for a video game on Kickstarter that made a pretty decent, like over 30,000. And then the girl in charge of it said, "Oh, I just don't feel like doing this anymore." And Kickstarter apparently got with the United Kingdom government, and she's labeled as a committing fraud for doing that, which they should.
Yeah.
You should come after you for
Yeah,
doing that.
you
That's
can't if
doing-
you're gonna take people's. I think part of the reason why people get on something for being late, and maybe I'm not sure if comic shops or whatever have to like pay beforehand, but I think part of the reason why people really get on your case with crowdfunding is if I pay for the book in advance. And I think if you're not communicating, that is another big thing too. People will be like months or even years late without like giving an update on why. Like if I'm ever behind, I'm like, hey guys, like here's why the book isn't like here's where we're at. There was an error at the printer or there was a formatting error, what have you. As long as you're doing that, you won't get complaints.
I do try to make sure I make at least an update a month. I'm not a communicative person. Many an ex-girlfriend will tell you that. I do try to make sure that I update at least once a month, no matter what's going on a project, and just be like, hey, it's been 3 weeks. The money just landed last week. Here's where we're at. I do, because you're right. Like if you just go radio silent and just mail books one day and think everyone's going to be thrilled, the weird thing is, even though you're delivering, they will be really kind of like, oh, I guess this is great. Like, because it's
Well,
very
it's fine if it's on time generally, but people do like to be almost like a part of the.
Yeah, that's what they want to be. They want to be part of the ride. I think that's 100% right.
So yeah, I think I overly explained in my first campaign. People are like, "All right, dude, you don't need to tell me like every 5 pages. Like, just like so that's fine." But I think
doing daily updates.
Hey, where this thumbnail came in. All right, dude, cool. I've read the whole book. No, I'm kidding. I didn't actually do that, but it's like, all right, here's this page. It's like, all right, why? What am I paying for? I have read the entire book in these emails.
People who complain about this are the same people who will go out and pre-order the next Ubisoft game that you get on day one and it doesn't work, and you paid $80 for it, and it's full up, but the microtransaction page works, but you're going to go out and buy the next one anyways. So
well,
the
that's
standards
not
are not applied universal.
That's how I mean. I get for some definitely, but not for me. But there is definitely a lot of that. Like you're saying, a lot of even just certain creators will get like no flack, and it's like, wait a minute, you're criticizing this other creator. The person you're a big fan of, or the company you're a big fan of, is doing like way worse. So there is definitely some of that. I'm just trying to think of. I guess. No, I'm gonna say. I was about to say. I guess. No, because publishers get a lot of the things I'm about to criticize indies for doing. I've seen publishers get flack for as well. Like even like misleading variants, like having a great cover and then not. But I see mainstream get crap for that too.
Yeah, but the criticism is usually like not as harsh, and they'll still spend money on that publisher anyway.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. There's no way me verifying that.
Yeah, no one stops buying Spider-Man because Spider-Man was late.
Right.
Well, they might stop because it's bad though.
Well, it's bad, yeah, of course. But that's for any product, right? But we're talking about if someone's here like, oh my God, I back these Kickstarters and they're late. I'm never backing these things again. If Spider-Man was suddenly late for a month or two, no one would be like, oh my God, I'm never touching Spider-Man again. That just doesn't happen.
Oh, because it was late. Yeah. Well, that's all. Yeah, they built up, and that's no credit to the current creators, because they that's the thing. When you have a legacy you're sitting on, you could just be like, do anything, and you like. I've had people that literally stopped reading Spider-Man that would be like, yeah, I'm still buying the issues because I have a complete run. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And they're like, it's like they'll be like, oh, Amazing Spider-Man sucks. I'm like, why are you still buying it? But, at this point, I've already read the first like 600 issues. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some I waited a year to get this. I waited a whole year to get this. And it is terrible.
Really?
It is so underwhelming.
Why is that?
It's the art book, X-Men art of Andy Kubert. Paid the $100, was super excited. They screwed up the shipping on this thing forever and ever and ever. They kept sending update after update after update that this thing was going to come and we're going to get it. Finally got it, and it is the most underwhelming thing I've ever I guess I don't know what I was expecting, but the way they upsold it with like cool behind the scenes and blah blah blah. There's commentary from them. There's not a ton of stuff in there that's like, it's a lot of just like the black and whites of the different pages and stuff. It's a really underwhelming product. I will say I will not do another art book off of Kickstarter because of that.
See, all right, that's another thing too. I've had people. So I guess one of the things I will say actually with crowdfunding is there will be people that will be like, oh, they'll get screwed over time and time and time and time again by bad stories from corporate companies, but they don't swear off comic shops altogether, right?
Right.
But then I've met multiple people who have had books on crowdfunding campaigns. They're like, I've read a few too many bad books. I've had bad experiences with backing crowdfunding. I've had whatever. They just won't even back crowdfunded books anymore because of the experience. Like I've had people, or even just down to the point where I've had people who were my friends when my first book was launching. They're like, one, I love you to death. I'm not backing your first book until I know it's delivered because I've been burned so many times with crowdfunding. And I'm like, I get it, but I'm also thinking about it. I'm like, that's kind of crazy that it's like.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing to say.
You know me?
Yeah, that's because that's not a friend move at all.
No, but it's like I get it. Well, they weren't like super close friends, but I was like, God damn.
But do you have to get it? Like, that's the thing. Like,
Gentlemen, hold on. We went way far afield. Let Jay answer the question. Jay, answer the question so we can move on.
I don't remember the question.
What's
Okay.
classy when the mainstream does it, but trashy when we do it?
Oh, okay. When they have multiple artists on a book, you know. And then you got you spent $2,500 on a name who only turned in 12 pages, and now you got to spend another $2,000 to finish up the last 10 pages between different people. So, they're like, oh, I'm not gonna. You got one artist working on this book. Well, I'm not gonna back it. Fuck you. I don't. What do you want me to say? I'm in a fuck you kind of mode today. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
That's all right. I think we're all there. Something is I think pretty much everyone caught it. I mean, I think for myself, one of the biggest things would be like, and I think somebody else touched on it, is, we see a lot of these big companies, whether it be Marvel or DC, they talk about these big events that they're launching, right? And they end up being nothing, right? Yeah. But yet, if we, somebody else was talking about sending out emails or whatever, and you start promoting your book, right? People start looking at you cross-eyed and say, "Yo, I got 3 emails in 3 weeks. What the hell?" Right? And that's, and I think that's the thing. Like I said, I know somebody else touched on it, but that's really the only thing I got. So Daphne, what do you have?
Well, the fact that people can say I collected the first 600 issues of Spider-Man, and then turn around and say, "Oh, that you have 4 issues of your comic, that's too much of a commitment."
Yeah. Yes. Especially when I have a cheap digital tier.
Like my series is 16 issues. And I hear that buzzing, where it's like, is that too much? I mean, it's like, it's an entire story. It's like, is the fact that it's 16, because I've had people say that at a convention, where it's like, if you have one issue on the table, that I don't want to commit because I don't know if you're going to finish that. But if you have 7 issues on a table, then it's like, that's too much to get at one time. That's too much story. That's too much story, right? And I don't know. And it's like, my story's going to be 16 issues anyway. But the thought that, that there are people who who think that, that's too much of a commitment. We don't even know if you're going to finish it. Like they're suddenly concerned about that. When, they're buying issue 300 and something from Marvel, but at the same time, it's like when you have like indie writers or like indie creators saying, it's like, "Oh yeah, this is my story is 180 issues." Right. And you're kind of doing the math on that. It's like, well, are you releasing it 4 times a year? Is it going to take me 20 years to, So on one hand, I can kind of understand the hesitation if an indie publisher says that it's like, "Oh, I have a 300 issue epic." But the thing is, though, is even just seeing people freak out at buying, like, there's 4 issues. I don't know. It's like, I've seen people kind of like be hesitant to support a series that with that few issues, but whatever Marvel and DC, I'm picking that up. Or it's like, this author has 7 volumes. Let me pick up the whole thing. Like I've seen Kickstarters for novels, for fantasy novels and romance novels, where people are literally legit. They are legit spending $4,000 to get the entire series. But if I say it's like my series is 16 issues, like, yeah, but are you gonna finish it? It's like, that's too much, So yeah, that's my thing. It's like, yeah, it's like when the mainstream does it, everyone doesn't have a problem with it, but when we do it, it's sus.
Yeah, well, they say that as they reach for their 50th volume of One Piece out of 900.
Right.
volumes.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. And the story's not even finished. So even that isn't an excuse. Because it's like you're collecting Berserk, the guy died. And people are still picking up, they're still picking up his books.
Hold on, you can't use Berserk though, because in the time that Guts gets on the boat and when he finally got off of it, I had gone from a teenager to a man. It took forever. Yes, which is not uncommon in manga for these guys to go on massive hiatuses because their industry is so brutally hard on the creators. But
well, yeah, but the thing is,
manga,
though,
kind
is
of
like, right, well, yeah, but the thing is, but again, it's like they're giving these companies grace that they don't give us, essentially.
I think it's harder because we are a face, a person. That they don't think of us as like when Marvel or DC do it, they don't feel like there's someone they could yell at about it, right? Like
right, that's probably
there's no DC sales rep who's just walking down the street that they can go, "Hey, last month sucked, bro." But like for us, they can stop us anywhere and just be like, "Hey, I think it's cool what you're doing, but I'm not going to buy it."
Right. Yeah.
And that is crazy that they say it to your face, but they will.
But here's the thing, Cory. We all have a chance to buy the Department of Meta-Human Affairs, right? So do you want me to play?
It's 5 issues, man.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Do you want me to play this video?
Yeah, it's just me talking. It's just going to be as bad as the rest of this.
Okay. Is it really long?
It's I think it's like 4 minutes of me talking, just kind of explaining the book.
That's long. Yeah. All right. So Cory, walk us through this. What do we got?
Yeah. So DMA is basically my version of like what I've been saying is X-Men meets the West Wing. In the very first couple pages of the first issue, who would be your Avengers or your Justice League? They go to stop a bank robbery and they get killed. And so the government is sort of feels the pressure from the public to do something about the idea that you can't count on volunteer superheroes. So they reach out, they recruit the characters they have access to. And so they find a retired teenage sidekick and they get him to kind of form a team, and these 5 characters are who they've got. And now the 5 of them are supposed to be helping save the world, but the reality is they're not heroes. They're just people with powers. And it's kind of I'm telling a very human story where, people are dealing with the trauma of life. This is about that particular page is talking about young Bounces watching his parents. They get married, they think they're in love, but the reality is it's hard to stay a couple in this day and age. And he reconnects with his dad much later in life and, kind of finds a semblance of a happy ending to that story. But in the first issue, his dad is one of the cops helping the Justice League, and he gets killed. So this is one of my favorite pages ever right here. Bounce is going through his little grieving moments, and he comes across these guys robbing a jewelry store. And this little panel where you kind of see the silhouette of them, and then the lightning strikes. I was like, yes, this is one thing. I was still learning how to make comic books, and when the colorist did this page, I was like, I would be cool if this is a page that I'm attached to forever. Like, I like where that little lightning bolt happens there. But anyway, so DMA is a book about these characters trying to kind of going through their trauma in their lives while still trying to be superheroes and look like they're doing the right thing. And that's kind of the core of the book. And we are on issue 5. I tell 3-part stories. So we're in the middle of a second part. We're in the middle of the second story, I should say. And so there's a lot going on in the sense that these characters are dealing with a lot of stuff, but the pressure is starting to build outwardly from the public where they're expected to kind of behave like superheroes and accomplish great things, which isn't necessarily their skill set. So that's what this book is about.
All right, cool. So, when doing this, like, what type of books were your inspiration when you were doing this?
Definitely Claremont's X-Men run, where it wasn't enough that, like, in Giant Size X-Men, they made Nightcrawler. He then took Nightcrawler and gave him a deep faith in the Catholic religion and had him kind of created things about those characters. Colossus is an artist who paints. There's just a lot of characters building that was happening in the middle of these superhero stories that I really kind of envy and want a part of. And so like that's what I'm trying to do with this series is in between the big moments, have these character building moments as well. And so with that, what I'm doing is there's a 22-page main story on every issue and then an 8-page backup.
Nice.
And then talking about the cool catch-up tiers like you were talking about, there's a 5 issue. So there's 5 issues, obviously. So there's a digital catch-up tier that's all 5 issues for only $20. So 150 pages of comic book goodness. The backup artists are usually they're different in every. I'm just trying to get as many independent artists some screen time as I can. But the main story is all done by the same artist. So like the first 3 issues were all done by a guy named Ulysses, and they're great. And then this current arc is done by a guy named Rami Silva, and he's did issue 4 and issue 5, and we're about to start on issue 6. And he's awesome also.
All right, cool. So this is issues. Oh, it's all through. It's 1 through 5. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So is this one arc? I mean, how far is this arc going? Or is
so issue 5 is right in the middle of the second arc. So 1 through 3 is its own story.
Gotcha.
And issue 5 is right in the middle of the second story. Every 3 issues will be a complete story, but they will keep building off of each other.
Oh, that's cool. So you got 10 days to go. You got to put some hustle in your game because you a little bit behind Abel, but I think you still have a little bit of time. You can make.
Oh yeah, no, I really feel like I'll find. This number that I'm searching for here, this 2,000, like I'm really forward invested in this one. I put a lot of money in early. Right. The art was all done basically already before I got started. We're coloring and lettering behind the scenes right now. This 2,000, that's a really makeable number. I generally shoot for 4,000 and have to scream at the last day to get it. I'm really, really confident that we'll hit the 2,000 over the next week or so. I'd love to do, if 10,000 people want to show up tomorrow and go digital on me and blow me up, that'd be fine too. But I do think we'll hit the 2,000. It's just it'll take us the full 10 days, I think. Okay.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, you definitely do. Have you done a trade yet, or you haven't done one of those yet?
So I've got a mini trade for the first 3. It's funny because with the backups, it's like 98 pages or something like that. It's almost 100 pages of the comic book. And so the first 3 are in a little mini trade together. And so on the physical catch-up tier, what you can order is that first trade and then issue 4 and issue 5.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Listen, man, I mean, you got a little bit of time, and I think you're going to do well, so you're good. So everybody, go pick out Department of Meta-Human Affairs. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. It's a very 90s book in that sense. I was a big guy into the superhero scene. You can't go wrong if you throw me some superhero action, and then in the back of it, someone's like, and I have to go to prom. Like, there's a whole thing going on. Like,
dude, you spoke my language, man. Claremont's X-Men is my biggest inspiration. I just finished his original run finally. Like, I've been reading over the course of years. Finally, the other day. So
I love it. I think it's one of those things. It's one of the few comic book runs that they make like Amazon Prime documentaries about. Like, you can't, like, there's no getting around the idea
that too.
Yeah, you can't get around the idea that Claremont didn't know what he was doing for sure.
All right.
Oh, except that he didn't, which is the funniest part. Like, if you watch his documentary.
Yeah, no, he definitely admits that, like, he's just kind of winging it, and his editors are always reminding him about his dangling and everything. But you know what I thought was crazy was he talked about how his biggest inspiration was, like, soap operas.
Yeah.
He was like, my mom watched soap operas, so the idea that there's always just stuff happening in the background. And I was like, that's interesting. So I do dig it. But yeah, I'm a nut for that stuff.
Yeah. Well, let's switch gears, and we got the Manticore. So, Isaac, do you want me to play this video?
No, you've seen them before. If you want to scroll down a little bit, there's one, so it'll be like 10 seconds, but shorter and faster.
Okay, cool. So, talk to me.
We do a video of the day that's just they're like little 10-second bumps for the series. Push the series.
Oh,
if
this
you
one?
want to do that, yeah, it's quick and easy.
We won't be intimidated by criminal threats.
Like I said, quick and easy.
Quick and easy. There you go.
As much as you're going to need. Toonami promo, actually. We took a lot of inspiration from Toonami growing up. So it's put to some of the stuff that they did. It's promotional purposes. It's not, we don't sell that particular thing. If you want the 15-second trailer there, that's the full like Manticore story. You want that? That's the you won't use for YouTube advertisements. Cool. That's up to you.
How long is it?
15 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
If we're going to win this war, we need our best warriors. Veteran soldiers, max level adventurers, true heroes. So then what in the frick is this?
That was supposed to be a different F word, but YouTube told us they didn't like that for running advertisements with, so we had to change it to frick. Because, they can advertise for furry porn games to my phone, but they can't let me say the
word. Oh, yeah, I've been getting straight up porn ads, and I'm like, dude, I don't want this.
That just makes sense.
And then they'll be like, well, you're engaging with it against my will.
So this is issue 0 of a new series we're doing. This is following some ideas we got from Succubus that series did really well for us. It's still our best-selling series. So we spent the last couple of years talking to our backers, polling them, getting to know them, chatting in our Discord, going back and forth. We built a book based off the feedback they gave us. It just so happens I'm very fortunate we have similar taste. This story follows an entire world locked in war, but everybody's fighting a one-on-war on their own. Kind of a World War I inspired story, but if you're not a war person, don't worry. This is not a Tom Clancy style serious piece of military literature. This is a D&D adventure using the war justification for a D&D adventure. A rule from Sun Tzu is never fight the same enemy so often that you teach him all your tricks. That's what's happened. Everybody's just fighting one-on-one. So somebody has the idea of, well, what if we deployed mixed troops to the front lines? The goblins can fight the elves, but can they fight an Oni? Do the undead know how to deal with a demi-human? So they put together the Manticore, which, if you guys aren't familiar, a Manticore is a mythological creature from Persian, or mythological Persian mythology that combines different parts of different creatures into one. In this case, Manticore is CORPS, like the Marine Corps, because we are combining different species soldiers into one unit to be greater than the sum they would be by themselves. I can't take full credit for that name, unfortunately. Issue 0 is showing how they all get recruited for this. As with any standard D&D adventure, you're looking for people who are these max level adventurers, your top level guys. Their stats are all maxed out. They've got epic level equipment. You didn't get that. Everybody who gets recruited is essentially by luck or dumb luck or some circumstance that means they get into this. And yes, like the graphic says, this is 36 pages. This is a bit different than how I normally do things. This book is 5 chapters, and each chapter is done by a different artist, colorist, or combination of, including names like the Zongbros, Krius, Mitsublinger, Akane, Yura, Zumineko, a long list of really amazing artists that we got to work with for this series, or for this book, rather. So each chapter is how each character gets selected, followed by the final chapter, which shows them coming together and getting their first mission assigned to them. Leave your kids at home because this is an ecchi comedy. We qualified as that because if you guys aren't familiar with my anime and manga friends out there, you guys know what I'm talking about, where ecchi means playfully sexy or suggestive content. In this case, it's a little more than suggestive sometimes. Issue 0, I had to make this graphic because I got messages from people asking if the book contained nudity, despite a graphic saying that. Oh, it's not obvious enough. Okay, yes, it does in fact have that. This is by far the raunchiest series I've done. That being said, issue 0 is an introduction, so you're getting a tease, but you're not quite getting the climax quite yet. Excited that I have Eric Braw in this book. He is the voice of Moon Knight in Marvel Rivals. He's been in League of Legends. He's in Sandland. He's in a bunch of stuff fantastic. He also sings the theme song for he acts as our bard singing about the Manticore. He's a man of many, many talents, and I'm jealous of both his voice and his beard. As this is a debut of our new series, we gave everybody freebies because I want people to enjoy the book. Comic books, I will argue till my dying breath, have forgotten that comics are supposed to be fun. You can have serious stories that are dark and bad things happen and make you think and re-examine your philosophy on life. That's a good thing. Reading should make us think. It's cardio for the brain. But it should also entertain you.
Yep.
To help motivate people for that, we offered on all but that, particularly the digital basic tier, you get 1 of 2 trading cards, a red or green, color-coded. There are our two mascots in cosplays from the series. We're kind of making a trading card game. We sat down with some card shop owners and big-time players to develop a rule set. So all of our stretch goals are cards that will be exclusive to this campaign. Those 2 cards are exclusive. Stretch goals may not be. I forgot. Let's look back at the writing for that one. I forget. I make documents that tell me how to do everything, and I have to go back and reference them. It's a little bit much for me to be able to remember by myself. We got a chance to work with some new artists for this one, including some of the heaviest hitters I've ever worked with. New guys like Joseph Wolf, heavy hitters like Zongros. I'm in love with that cover personally. It's probably my favorite, one of my personal favorites on this one. I know Daphne's about to get very angry at me.
Oh yeah, you cute, sexy robots.
Yeah, we got CSR again. To my knowledge, he won't work with anybody in comics. I don't know why. But if it makes you feel better, Daphne, it takes about 2 years to get a cover from him, even for me.
Well, I could imagine.
It's a long wait.
Yeah.
We've had this book cooking now for several years to get it ready, and everything we wanted to be just right for it. We wanted it to be. Demon Lord Dante, another one of our big guys. Because of Kickstarter's crackdowns, guys, I'll let you know that a lot of these covers had to be edited for Kickstarter now because of Stripe and their amazing decision that's saying that you can't have what you want with your own money. You know, please let Stripe know you're mad about that. So a lot of characters had to be added to their underwear. And what was originally ultra wet and Foxy covers are now just regular Foxy ones. That being said, we do pre-order them in our Discord server, so if you go in there, you can get them. And Stripe has nothing to do with that whatsoever, so they cannot do anything.
That's crazy.
It's ridiculous that they're coming after people for that, and yet I still see, like, I classify what I do as ecchi. A lot of these stories, so it's adult humor. A lot of, like, oh no, a grenade went off, my top got blown up. That's funny to me. That's not really sexy. It's funny, in my opinion. That being said, the series does go into adult situations, adult imagery, and adult activity later on. But I can go through Kickstarter right now and I see full-blown explicit girl-on-girl action and things like that happening. Stripe told me I can't do that. Are we playing favorites? How does this work? No one's explained it to me yet. We do a couple of first appearance specials. We do have a digital deluxe that includes all of the covers and everything you can get onto it. This book has essentially 4 main characters, so it does open up some things and give everybody a little bit of their own shine and spotlight. The idea was to cater to anything you might like. Like I like everything. I'm pretty easygoing. So we have an Oni girl who's 8'3", who is the biggest, and I do mean biggest chest size in every possible way of any character we've ever done. We have a demi-human cat person. We never tell you their gender. If you want it to be a sexy cat girl, it's a little cat girl. You want it to be a femboy cat boy, that's what it is. It's entirely your choice. My job as a writer is not to tell you how to think. It's to make you entertained and happy. And if I can find a way to do that, I will. We have a quote-unquote human mage. We have a dark elf archer. Following into RPG and Dungeons and Dragons archetypes, our squad must consist of a tank, 2 damage dealers, and a healer. As the series progresses, we do get guest characters who join for a mission or two. The series will ultimately be told in 2 mission-long arcs, with those arcs have different artists assigned to them, and those are self-contained. I know you guys were complaining earlier about having to go back and read like 100 issues of X-Men to catch up. You ain't got to do that. You can hop in anytime on the Manticore and have a good time. I don't want to make you have to read a lot of backlog. A comic book should be fun. It should not be a chore. I'm not giving you homework. I am no longer a teacher. That job sucks. I want you to enjoy it. And thank you, Michael DeFonte, he just backed it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you, and to all of our backers. If you guys don't know who we are and what we do, we have a link on this. I invite you to go back to my previous campaigns and look at comments and see what happened. We always take care of our backers. We talk to you guys. If we have a special request, reach out, see if we can do it. If there's a book from a previous campaign you don't see on here on our website that you want, reach out. We'll see if we can get it for you. Again, I think as creators on Kickstarter, we have a responsibility to ensure that the backer has the best possible experience. It's the same thing I have if you get to be a guest at a convention. I think like your responsibility is the same thing. Make sure people there have a good time. Kickstarter may own the street, and we sell hot dogs on that street. We can make sure those hot dogs are good. So that's what we try to do here. We technically have 1 stretch goal left. The 19K one I haven't listed it as unlocked quite yet, just because the fluctuation at this point in the campaign's up and down. Technically, it's unlocked right now, but a couple of days, who knows? We're at that point in the campaign where you can predictably expect it to wave a little while. This book has been worked on for years. As anything my company does, we go to Kickstarter, the book, the trading cards, the posters, it's all done. It just has to go to the print shop. We're ready to go at any time. We just need, the funds to clear, basically. As producing a comic, as you guys all know, is very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Need to get the graphic on there, the picture of my cat. It says this is the only comic on Kickstarter with 100% goblin approval rating because he is a goblin.
So
and there's still some things that will appear on the campaign. We haven't added everything yet. 1 or 2 items still may show up. You never know.
How many days do you have left?
We are, as of right now, I think it's 10 or 11. We're in the final stretch. We have 10 officially, 10 days left. So it ends on the 14th of August. We'll have probably a party that day on via Twitch, YouTube, whatever. I'm not sure which one we use yet to celebrate the ending of the series, the ending of the first issue. We didn't know if this was going to push forward to the full book or not. We're not sure how we're going to handle it. It's a new series. We've untested. We know that the myriad of books we have. We know the fan base. This has had such an amazingly positive response, and my team and I are so touched to absolute tears that people have responded so positively to this book. We are actually working right now on an additional freebie, an additional etchy freebie to give everyone as a thank you for coming in to just check out this book. Even if, regardless of stretch goals, we want to give you guys more. I feel like our backers, you guys help us, keep us alive. You keep our lights on. The least we can do is give you more and say thank you for what you do for us. So hopefully we can do that. And with the research that went into Manticore, talking to backers and our backers and readers, this is our love letter to our readers. It's everything they've asked for from me for the last couple of years.
All right, cool. Well, you got 300. You got over 300 backers. You're over 19 grand. I mean, you're well on your way, sir. You're well on your way.
Very thankful, very appreciative of everybody's backing.
You're doing a great job as always, Isaac. Nice job.
Thank you, sir.
All right, cool. Very nice. All righty. Vaughn,
Yeah.
let's get you up here, brother.
All right.
You want me to play this video?
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead and play it.
All right.
We call ourselves Phenomenova. Yesterday, the Stormbearers, a deadly group of mercenaries, took control of a nuclear reactor. Before we arrived on the scene, Galvanite, a powered teenage boy, attempted to stop them. He failed. His story ended there that day. Ours began shortly after. Today, I sift through the memories of that day. I will put the pieces together, and we will bring those responsible to justice.
Cool.
So that's Phenomenova. So obviously you missed the chance to get the day one trading card, but if you guys are just finding out about it now, that's okay, because we have the 48-hour cover that expires at midnight. So you got like 3 more hours left to get that. But Phenomenova, like with Cory over here, I was heavily inspired by Claremont's X-Men run. It is a superhero story set 20 years after World War III and follows a brand new generation of heroes rising up, inspired by those who fought during the war. So in issue 3, we face the first 2 issues covered the son of a veteran who strikes out to become a superhero. Now he fails miserably to stop a heist at a reactor. So now we're watching the characters who are soon to be his teammates as they attempt to take on the villains. But this story is told from the perspective of one of those teammates, Estrella here, who has the power to absorb information from the environment and things by touching. So she can absorb the memories that took place at the crime scene. So she's kind of reliving her actions with her teammates and the events that transpired at the reactor, and is also understanding, okay, why did the villains break into the reactor? How do they do it? How do they take over? What were they stealing? So it's a bit of a mystery mixed with superhero action. And it is basically what we've been building up to from the first 2 issues. A lot of questions are being answered. And it's also very new reader friendly. That was extremely important to me. It's going to make you want to read the first 2 issues if you haven't. So I would recommend catching up. But if you want to just dive right in, you can do that too. It's 43 pages of story and 48 total.
All right, cool. So the arc that you're currently working on, how many issues is it going to be?
I'm aiming for 8.
Okay.
So, yeah, but they're not all going to be. They're going to be shorter issues going forward for the most part. But I decided, and this one kept ballooning from like 28 pages, and I kept going, you know what? We're introducing so many heroes and so many villains. Let's really give it the time to shine, and let's make this something unforgettable. Which is why I decided to keep going, and my editor would give suggestions. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. And my issue's double length what it once was. So, but I think it'll be worth it. We've got some mini prints too. That double page spread, I showed it off and people said, is this going to be a mini print? And I was like, yeah, it is now. So that is a mini print. So we've got ones that are heroes, ones of our villains, and you can catch up on the series. And that is a limited cover from the first campaign.
So I was seeing all the run up for this. You did a really great job promoting this Kickstarter, and everything looks great for it, man.
That's trading card. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we've even got some original artwork, tons of stuff. What I like about doing the trading cards gives me an extra opportunity to write some stuff. So if I can't include something about the character in the book, I get to write more about them in the trading card. So.
Gotcha. Now, what type of frequency are you looking at as far as release? Are you doing it twice a year, 3 times a year? What are you looking at?
So far I've done. Let's see. So far, I fulfilled issue 1 at the end of last year. I've already released 1, crowdfunded and released 1 within this year. This should be done by the end of the year, and then I'm hoping to do 2 to 3 a year.
Okay, cool, good.
So if things go according to plan, we should be at like 6 by the end of next year, if not more. But that all depends. So that's my plan.
Listen, man, I mean, you can do as much as you can do. You know how it is.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why the more this funds goes right into production, and I could go, hey, next one.
Right. All right, very nice, very nice. All right, so you're at 120 backers. You're 51.97. You still got a little bit to go, but you got 28 days. So
yeah,
I think you're good to go, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think I am too. But obviously, I want to go as hard as I can. And like I said, you guys have till midnight to get that 6th cover. Otherwise, you'll have to wait and just back everything, because you can still get the 48-hour cover if you back all 6 covers. But because I'm not going to turn that down. But if you're like, hey, I just want that cover, or I want that cover in this one, then yeah, you have till midnight.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Listen, man. Are you going to get another Buzz cover soon?
Oh, man, I was considering it. I'm considering it because the Buzz cover is just great. But in the meantime, you get what you get. And then if you see me at a convention, I do have prints of it, and I have a few left over. I always hike up when all the variant covers are limited because they're made to fund the campaign. Whatever's left over is hiked up in price at conventions. It's still give you backers something extra special. And like I said, they're very limited. But I want to work with Buzz again. I mean, he's the man.
Yeah, he's cool people.
So, very good friend of mine. Always nothing but helpful. But at the time, yeah, I've got a lot of.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Oh, am I cutting out? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're cutting out. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No. In the meantime, I've got 6 covers here, and I hit a certain point where I'm like, okay, that's enough. So. Buzz in the future, though, he's already agreed to do another cover. I just need to figure out what I want him to draw.
Gotcha. All right. Listen, sounds good. Like I said, man, awesome stuff. You always put out a good book.
Thank you.
More power to you. It's just going to keep going up. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right. Jesus Christ. More superhero comics. It's fucking super comics. Jesus Christ.
That's,
Do you want me to play this video?
You don't have to play the video. Don't worry. But don't knock the superhero comic, baby. This is my jam, bro. This is where it came up. This is issue number 6 of Shield of the Interceptor. If you know about the sword Excalibur, what if there was a shield that was supposed to be paired with it that allows me to play with the lore, the toys, but not be bound by those rules? So now that our character, our main protagonist has found the shield, everybody who's ever searched for it is coming for his head. This is part 2 of the latest arc. Issues 1 through 4 complete the first arc. For anybody who was a returning backer, they get a special prize because we don't have that. You get your 7th coffee for free punch card. We don't have frequent flyer miles, but I know everybody who's backed me. So if you've backed any other project of mine, you automatically get a holochrome trading card. Andres Barrero is the artist. He's done the last 4 issues with me. He's actually working on the follow-up to this one right now. This is a 29-page story of a 32-page issue. We got a bunch of trading cards that were stretch goals from previous campaigns that we've collected, so people can add on the entire trading card pack if they want, along with some of the holochrome cards. We had an early bird special, which I stole the idea from Tom with the Wizard homage covers. So that was a 48-hour thing, but you can still add it to any campaign if you are interested, along with the returning backer card. These are some of our trades. I've got quite a big catalog. Not everybody wants the single issues. Some people like trades, so we put some of that stuff together. The bottom there is a source book. I was a big fan of the the Marvel, the official handbook of the Marvel Universe. So that's where the official character guide of Unstoppable Comics comes in. Then we got the rest of our creative team. So it's myself, Andres, Champe is my colorist, the Missus is my letterer, and LT, Tom, how do I pronounce his last name, baby?
Oh, I've never heard it, but I've always said Hutchison.
I thought you got it, bro.
We only know it.
How would I have ever heard it in real life? I don't know the guy.
Oh no, I thought he would give you like a voice memo or something like that, bro.
No,
All right.
no.
All right. So
Tuason, Hutchison.
I said Tuason.
Well, you can put a croissant on it if you want. But,
but anyways, he's kicking ass, man. We got a couple T-shirts that we got going down for this. We got the Chibi style and 2 Unstoppable Comics shirts that feature the guys that are on the cover, the Interceptor and the newest villain in the series, Eyebrawl. I'm a big fan of the way He-Man named those villains. I mean, yeah, He-Man named his villains. Right, a little tongue-in-cheek, a little punny. So that's why the guy's name is Eyebrawl. What's up?
I roll.
That's a great name.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you, Michael.
Whatchamacallit, and we got, that ends on Friday. No, it ends on Saturday, excuse me. So we'll be going live on Friday and Saturday talking about the series. Oh, that's our digital catalog. It's a great value if anybody wants to add that onto their reward. I know some people are running out of space, don't have a lot of room for physical copies, but if they want, they can pick up the whole digital catalog as an add-on, and they get all our books at a great price. What else I got on this? The cards, the shirts, preview pages, stretch goals. We've unlocked already 2 stretch goals. We're close to unlocking the 3rd one, which adds more trading cards to your pile. And that's it, man. I'm sorry, I'm a little spent, so the song and dance man is not here right now. But this is it, baby. This is my flagship character. He debuted in our title, our main series, the Storm Chasers. You can pick up his first appearance issue if you like. That's in there. You can pick up his origin story as well. They're all add-ons. Or you can get it all with the whole mega bundle. And, this stuff is ready to go. We just got to put the money together to get it printed up. That's it.
All right, cool. We got another 6 days. You made your goal. You have 55 backers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're looking good, but hopefully we get you a few more shekels in there.
Hopefully we get a few more shekels, baby. That's all I need, brother. That's all I need.
Good
So you
stuff.
all need.
Thanks.
All right, so again, let's switch gears. A little bit of fantasy. Daphne, do you want me to play this video?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Thank you. Short and sweet.
There you go.
Yo.
The Daphne episode.
So Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, is the story of a unicorn princess exiled into the mortal realm after she is betrayed by her elf prince husband-to-be and dragons overtake her kingdom. But when Eagle Raven becomes an unwitting pawn in a noblewoman's attempt to avoid an arranged marriage, she trains to become a knight with the help of an unlikely trio of blacksmiths, hoping to ultimately win a king's favor and save her people. In issue 11 of this 16-issue series, Eagle Raven returns to her beloved but besieged homeland of Edenron, joining a rogue band of elves and unicorns preparing for their chance to fight the Dragon Lords. But a trio of rivals from her past are not happy to see her back. I created this comic series after years of binge watching shows like She-Ra and Dungeons and Dragons, reading comics like ElfQuest, and watching movies like The Last Unicorn and The Lord of the Rings. If you've ever felt like an outsider struggling to find your tribe, the story of a wayward unicorn princess finding her place in a mortal world might be perfect for you. It's a sword and sorcery fantasy with a soap opera twist featuring character relationship-centered stories with unicorns, elves, dragons, and furries. Because I got to put everything in here. So like I said, this is for issue 11. And you can get everything in both PDF and hard copy formats. What you're looking at here is also a prequel to the series, which is a short story. It's an illustrated short story that I wrote that takes place about 20 years before the first issue. Like I said, everything is available on the campaign. If you are new to the campaign, I have catch-up tiers in both PDF and hard copy formats, and also in both trade paperback formats and in comic book issue only levels, if you're the type that likes to collect all the covers. I have a sketch cover level as well if you want to get an original piece from me based on the comic. Like I said, I have everything on the add-on section, including the infamous, very spicy Medieval Unicorn Viking Slut, which is a 2-comic set that features Eagle Raven and Werewolf Loki in their own separate story that's not quite canon to the main story. It's just me messing around with a joke that happened on Kickstarter that got way out of hand. Also, if you've missed Tall Tales, which is the book that me and JD Calderon, Jose of here, that we worked on together, it is also available on the campaign as a PDF set, which includes the entire story so far. For those of you who aren't familiar with Kickstarter, I also have a little instruction graphic on how to pledge to Kickstarter and what the expectations are. And so it's like, so here are some reviews from some of my friends who read the comic, and that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's a 16-issue story that is completely done. There is the story is laid out, and it's just all I have to do is just ink and color the entire thing, but the story is complete. So if you're concerned that I'm 11 issues in, whether this story is going to finish, yes it is, and I'm hoping to have it finished sometime in the next year or so. Year and a half, maybe, depending on how the scheduling goes. But yeah, we're pretty much we're pretty much close to the end here with issue 11.
All right, cool. Well, you're at 99 backers. You got 21 days to go.
Damn.
You've already met your goal, so you're good.
Yeah.
You're looking nice.
Yes.
Man, now I feel like my pitch was too short now. You guys did better than me.
Well, I have different variations depending on
I know.
depending on what I need at the moment. I have a 2-sentence pitch. I have a couple of paragraphs.
It was a great pitch.
Yeah. Do not be afraid to make cue cards for yourself.
There you go.
Yeah. So look, I'm gonna bring up my campaign. So terrible pitch coming up in a moment. So this is issues 1 and 2. This is a story that I had done. Wow, I mean, the first issue came out in '92. It's fully remastered. We recolored it. We have some new covers. These 2 covers right here were both done by the original artist, Matt Lunsford. These were the 2 original covers that appeared in '92 that we published and distributed through Diamond and Capital City and all these other distributors. But we gave them a nice coat of paint, as I said. We brushed their hair and all that good stuff, and gave them a nice new color job. And I think they came out really, really nice. And we also have a nice cover by Lena Dye and various other artists that we've had on other issues. But the story centers around 4 children. They're called the Dreamweavers, or the Mystics, actually. And they're 4 kids that when they go to sleep, they wake up at night, and they wake up in the bodies of their role-playing game characters. And they end up having these issues with demons who are trying to cross over from other dimensions that are trying to take over the earth. And these 4 kids are just losing their minds trying to deal with this. And they end up teaming up with some of the local superheroes in the area to help them out. And these are just some of the pages. And that's pretty much it. I think we've already funded. We're at 48 backers. We're at $1,600. We got 27 days to go. Obviously, like everybody else, we're trying to get a little bit higher. So go check it out. The first 2 issues are available. It is, if we go here, my featured tier is issues 1 and 2. The A covers are both done by Matt Lunsford. So go check it out. Thank you so much. All right. So, Jay, your question.
I got nothing, baby.
All right, Tom.
I told you you're gonna have to come in, baby.
Oh, here, listen. I got one. Don't worry about it. I got one. So listen, guys. San Diego Comic-Con just passed. One of the things that we would always hear about San Diego Comic-Con is all the news, right? Did anybody hear any news come out of San Diego Comic-Con that anybody's excited about on any
John Byrne, X-Men.
Right. That's my answer too. But that's it.
That's everyone's answer. The fact that that's everyone's answer. And
no, there's a new Marvel crossover Omega event.
No one cares.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not excited for that one.
I got nothing. I
will say I'm excited for the Marvel DC stuff that's starting to come out.
Oh yeah,
the Batman Deadpool. One of the backup stories is going to be.
All I see with that stuff is a money grab. It's short term. How do we save comics right now in this moment? As always, that's the industry for the last almost 20 years. Is holy fuck, we're screwed. What do we do? and we have to do these. That's where all these big events keep
Well, yeah,
coming
but that's
from all the time.
That's what drove the first Marvel DC crossover and then the amalgam universe.
And I don't mind them happening, but 9 times out of 10, these are forgettable stories.
It's also a sign of, from what I understand, it's like we're in danger.
It's a desperation thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a desperation. That's the way that I read it. Now they could end up coming out and being good, and that's fine. But that's what I'm just saying. It's like 9 times out of 10 we do these things, and they're just not particularly good.
Well, what I am hopeful for is Kevin Smith is doing Daredevil Green Arrow with Kubert drawing it.
Ooh, that sounds cool. I didn't hear about that.
That I'm excited about. So you're right that a lot of these sometimes. I don't know. I still thought the execution wound up being pretty good on the Justice League Avengers crossover when they did it.
George Perez and Kirk.
Yeah.
Well, anytime you put something, again, 20 years, but again, anytime you put something in the hand of George Perez, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
When you start to leave the legends behind, like we were just excited about John Byrne, right? But when you start to leave the legends behind and we put this stuff in the hands of, I won't say the newbies, because these guys have been at it for 10, 15, 20 years themselves.
Yeah.
It's just it kind of feels like just the comics themselves. Everything is just re-Tetrising the same pieces to tell similar stories. And what are we actually getting? Is there creation happening? Is there creativity happening? I know with Kevin Smith, he wrote both of those characters, so it's an interesting thing where he can come back in and be like, "Hey, I like these characters. I have a connection to them. Let me see what I can do with them." That's an interesting one in that context. But still, so much of this stuff just ends up 5 years later, it's in the dollar boxes and we've forgotten about it. So that's why I always say it's like a short-term fix, right? It's like, oh, I got a headache, give me a pill, and we'll take care of it right now. But there's no long-term thought process in this industry. There hasn't been any for a long time.
Well, I think that the buried lead is that John Byrne is putting out that X-Men comic through a company that's not Marvel.
Right.
Like
Really?
Marvel could have easily have taken, picked up on that hype, and they decided, nah, we'll pass.
Well, I kind of have a theory about that. I think that Marvel, the same reason that Chris Claremont never really came back to X-Men ever. I think that they do sort of want them. Everyone kind of has their chapters, their moments, and then they kind of move. Frank Miller's not coming back to Marvel and DC anytime soon in any real significant way. These guys are each.
They don't care, Corey. I'm sorry, brother. They don't care, dude. They're not.
I don't know that they don't care. I think that there's. I think
driven right now. It's the nostalgia factor does not trigger them for comic books, bro. It does.
No. The nostalgia does trigger, just not Marvel and DC. It does.
Right.
I mean, G.I. Joe and Transformers and Power Rangers are Thundercats and all that. That's all a wave that wouldn't have happened if my generation didn't have a job right now but couldn't afford homes. None of those comic books would be out.
It triggers the fans, not the editorial staff.
Yeah. No, I don't know, because I know a lot of the younger guys who are on some of these editorial staffs that are. They care too. I don't think it's totally fair. I think some of the problem is that Marvel and DC are cogs in corporate machines. Mm-hmm. I do think that plays into it also. But comic books has always been very spur of the moment, short-sighted. Some of their biggest moments have kind of come out of playing loose and fast. Onslaught was one of the big X-Men storylines forever.
Well, right.
When Juggernaut shows up and says the name Onslaught for the first time in panel, I think it's Joe Kelly's the writer, and he just flat out says, we didn't know who Onslaught was yet. Like, they had no idea. They were just kind of making it as they went.
Dude, but that was all. But that's kind of proves my point. All of it worked off of each other. So they did something, and instead of retconning or forgetting about it, they organically said, well, what is that? Let's do it. Let's figure it out. Let's go. Everything just kept flowing through. Now everything is start and stop. Now everything is X-Men #1 for 12 issues. Right. X-Men #1 for 12 issues. X-Men #1.
No, that part I totally agree. I don't.
There's no
forethought.
There's no forethought in any of that. Back in the 80s and the 90s, and again, that's where it kind of stopped. Everything was organic. Nothing was just being thrown away. It was being used, mulched, sometimes overly mulched, and we got a thing. And then all of a sudden the organic element of it went away, and it was just, well, we need #1s now. We need issue #1s. We're going to let these run for 1 or 2 years, and then we're going to do it again.
But that's just as much our fault as the reader.
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree.
I think they were delivering what we wanted back then as readers, and because of the collectability and because of the variant cover, we were telling them with our money that we wanted crap, that we wanted relaunch after relaunch after relaunch, that we didn't want. It was heavy stuff.
It was that, but it was also the basic thought. See, like we went back, right? We were talking about who to throw under the bus, and we were talking about Marvel, right? They decided that it was better for the industry and for them to do a number one, run it for 12 issues, and do it again, right? That was their decision. Like, let's keep doing this.
But it wasn't their decision like in a vacuum, though. Is I think what I would push back on. It was their decision because I promise you, when they were looking at sales, by the number one pops and then everything drops after that. That's what they always tell you.
Of course.
And by the time the sales were at wherever they were at for issue 13, it made more sense for them to push a new number one.
Right, but in doing
by
so,
number 6, not by 13.
Yeah, but in
number 6, they're reviewing this
but
stuff.
even in that context, now you're creating a more. We always ask why my manga sells, right? It's because it's easy. 1 through 28. It's right here. Tell me how to read the X-Men now. It's impossible,
dude. I remember.
And add on to that they all still are very aware of those numbers when it comes around to 500. 600, 700, all of a sudden everything renumbers again. Like, oh fuck, we're gonna have a action 1000. We have to go back to 1000 now and do it there. So they're very aware of the value of numbers, but there was a period of time, a very harsh period of time, where things were not lasting longer than about a year to 2 years at the max, and they were just recycling, and they were happy to do it. And the problem even with that, there was no organic element. It wasn't X-Men 1 through 12 were stopping, and then volume 2 X-Men 1 through 12 again, volume 3. There was no way for people to figure out where the fuck am I in all of this stuff. So it started to create a confusion in the general base, the reader base, plus anybody who walked in off the street and was like, show me the X-Men, be like, well, which one, which version, which extreme, which one, whatever. And then when you got to say, well, show me Cyclops, right? He's in one version with 3 other dudes that no one's ever heard of. It was just a complete chaotic creative mess that they created. And I still don't know that they can have found their way out of it, because even this last, just to stick with the X-Men, this last X-Men revamping of things is a complete failure. I mean, it's an absolute failure. These books are already all being canceled. They've been around for less than a year. They don't know what the fuck they're doing from a long-term storytelling standpoint. Everything is now, nope, now, nope, now, kind of, yes, this is kind of working. Oh, Ultimate's good. Well, now it's not. We're going to cancel that now. There's no forethought and no organic storytelling in this stuff anymore.
I mean, to be fair with the X-Men, and this is my point, I think a lot of these things are doing it. But to me, people are missing the forest of the trees and need to just be frank. To me, I just reread Claremont's last X-Men issue where he gives his final thesis statement. He has Magneto give his view. Professor X counters it. The modern writers straight up, word for word, agree with Magneto's position and have made the X-Men take on Magneto's position. They became mutant supremacists straight up and isolationists in the House and Powers of X. And the fans accepted it. And the old school fans, or people who believed in X-Men, walked away. I'm not coming back. I don't care who you get on the book, because they canonically did that. And it seems to me like every time I look at it, they're reinforced. They're straight up villains now in my eyes. Like,
well, you're talking about the Hickman run, right? Where they kind of, But I think that was, I agree with you're right. They came out of it. Magneto declared themselves the new gods of the Marvel universe, and I think he says that in one of the issues. But that is sort of the linear story of X-Men post the thesis from Claremont, because of things like Genosha. When you here's I think, Tom, where you're right and you're wrong. You're right that they do these runs that are convoluted and hard to jump on, but they did them because that was what, like Grant Morrison, when he comes onto the X-Men, he totally changes all the rules of the X-Men universe in the first issue of his story. And he tells his own version of X-Men that could have been, you could have taken that and clipped it and made it an Image book, made it a DC book.
But that's my point, is there's no, or everybody's allowed to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
Now, conceptually, that should be good, except that people that have been reading for a long time, like these guys we talked about reading 600 issues of Spider-Man, if you go through these times where you start to reboot and retcon and reset, and this didn't happen and that didn't happen, then you start to lose readers, because then people are like, I don't know what the hell's going on. This stuff that I read doesn't matter anymore. So why would I read forward? That's what I'm saying
that's why the New 52, that's why I never was really had a pull list. And I've been reading comics since I was in 6th grade, is because I was like, well, hold on. Nothing like Tim Drake I just read this great story. Tim Drake is not Robin? What?
Well, do you know why that happened?
Robin?
But do you know why that happened? Is because Dan DiDio, when he was fired, he gave a really honest interview where he said the New 52 was easy the first wave because they got to plan everything out for a year. But then in the process of putting out 52 books a month for a year, he started to lose track of characters and where they were. And by the time they got to year 2 of 52, he no longer could keep DC as tight and cohesive. He actually compliments Joe Quesada and Marvel for how they're able to do that, where they do keep track of a character. Like, I don't know, if it's Mysterio and he appears in the Avengers and then he appears in Spider-Man, they at least keep track of like the weave of who it's supposed to be. And literally Dan DiDio said he couldn't do it by year 2 of New 52. That's where you see the Red Robin, Tim Drake isn't Robin, won't be Batman, all the different weird kind of narrative stuff that comes out of it.
That's what you call terrible editorial.
And I would agree with that.
Fully. I mean, I remember hearing even, I think it was like Graham Nolan was even telling me he would be like, because they had Danny O'Neill as editor of Batman. He was like harsh. He's like, that is a great story. That's not Batman. Save it for something else. We like that needs to be brought back. Like, because don't get me wrong, I like creative and new stories. That's what we in the indie scene are here for.
Right.
Let us do that. If you like, if people want their comfort characters when they go to Spider-Man, when they go to X-Men, when they go to whatever, not saying don't be inventive. I would never say that. But even you look at Claremont's run, right? He's constantly reinventing. What? They're in Australia now? But it still felt like the X-Men. I'll pick up something off the shelf and I'm like, this does not feel like
you can reinvent organically. That's the thing. Take what was before and move it into a new stratosphere of wherever you want to move it, but don't negate the fans that have taken you to that point,
right?
And then be like, well, and now nothing that you read matters anymore. We're going to go on this path to the left where everything changes. Literally everything changes. That's where you start to lose readers.
But I think some of that though is kind of okay, like where they reinvent Star-Lord and Drax into Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm sure that there's some people who were like, Drax's story is that Drax is the destroyer and he's always 8 feet tall and flies and has all these superpowers and is brain damaged and stupid. Why are you making him cool knife wieldy guy? Don't do that.
That happened because of the movie. The movie made him that way.
Right.
And so when the movie made him that way, Marvel was like, well, how do we sell Drax
How do we get
now?
him there? And so they changed him.
No, that was Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning did that.
The Annihilation thing. Yes.
Oh, before the movie they did that?
Yeah, they did that.
Oh, I never saw that. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, gentlemen, this is why I wanted to throw Marvel under the bus. I'm sorry, we came to hour 2, so we're at our peak here, all right? So thank you so much. Everybody was awesome. So please, let's start with Vaughn. Please, where can we find you and your work, sir?
So you can check out, obviously, my Kickstarter that I mentioned. I'm also on YouTube. I post on basically every social media platform, I'm like, all right, Kickstarter, here's where you guys all go. So I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, or I guess I'm going to keep calling it Twitter forever because it's a stupid name. Facebook. So wherever you want, you can find me there. I've also got my own website, Rebel Oasis. I always do this, RebelOasisStudios.com. I'm on Global Comics as well. So if you're subscribed there, you can read the first 2 issues and you could be like, oh, I like it or I don't. And then if you decide to back, that's perfectly fine. So just search up my name. You'll find me somewhere or my website.
All right. Cool. Tom?
BigDogInc.com. Get books. Hurry up because in 2026 we're rebooting the entire Big Dog Inc. universe. Everything starts with a new number 1, because that's what the world wants, right?
That son of a bitch.
Cory, where can they find you and your work, sir?
On social medias, I'm Cory DLG, and you can. I try to only do one thing at a time, so you can definitely find me on Kickstarter.com. And yeah, come check it out. DMA issue number 5. Then we'll hopefully fund, and we'll go from there, and we'll do some more fun stuff.
Cool. Isaac?
Instagram and Facebook, I think it's AT Foxy Comics. Blue Sky is, I think, AT Foxy Comics. We don't really use Twitter much anymore. We're there. We don't really use it. And of course, YouTube and Kickstarter are all just Astral Ticket Comics.
All right, very nice. Mr. Rosario.
I wanted to make a number 1 issue joke too. I got nothing.
We covered it all.
You can find me on unstoppablecomics.com. All of our social media links are on the website. It's updated on a regular basis, more so than any other platform. So you can reach me out on there. But Unstoppable Comics are pretty much anywhere else. Friday nights, Comic Book Streamland with some of the guys here. And Daphne, she's come in, as a show of force. Wrangle us all in sometimes. And then Sundays here with Calderon and some of these guys. I got nothing else.
This is the worst outro ever.
I'm so spent, dude. I'm so freaking spent today. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Daphne.
You can find me and all my work and my neuroses on my website at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. You can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites. You can also read Eagle Raven and Tall Tales on Webtoon. Eagle Raven updates every Tuesday, and Tall Tales updates every Thursday. And you can also read both of my comics, both Eagle Raven and Tall Tales, on Global Comics as well. So pretty much you can read Eagle Raven for free. You can read Tall Tales for free. And when you're done reading it for free, you can head on over to the Kickstarter and spend money on the books.
There you go.
There you go. All right. So I'm JD Calderon. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those different places. TheOswaldChronicles.com, TallTalesOnline.com. And currently on Kickstarter with Dreamweavers. And please, everybody, please check out the show notes, because in those notes is everybody's links to all their campaigns. All these creators doing fantastic work, all making great books. Please click on those links, buy those books. They all deserve your support. They all deserve, you to pick them up and read them. All right, they're all great books. So please, just remember, everybody, read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Ciao.
Ciao.